This is another exclusive.
Well, it's been a long winter and spring, and finally get some chance to start getting some horses running and getting some money coming in, hopefully.
Well, that's important.
Yep.
So let's talk a little bit about how many horses you got here this year.
Right now I got 16 horses, 4 2-year-olds and 12 race horses. I've been shopping, looking to claim some more, and just to go through the motions. I've been racing a little bit at Woodbine and down here. I'm stabled down here, so it's easy to have cheaper horses here too, since I'm stabled here.
What are the chances are for you this year, maybe perhaps getting a horse down in the Prince of Wales Stakes?
That one, I don't know if I'm that progressed yet. It would be nice, but for now, I just, any horse that could win, I'm happy with. Whether it's a 4,000 claimer, or a maiden, or 10,000 claimer. The wins is what counts in this business.
No, that's for sure. Now, how many years have you been training for?
So I originally had standardbreds. My father, my uncle trained standardbreds. I trained standardbreds. Then I got out of it for about 10 years in thoroughbreds. This is my second year having my trainer's license for the thoroughbreds. So I did quite well last year, knock on wood, but we're hoping to have a good year this year and keep progressing, get better horses, more horses, and build the business up.
What's the difference with the standardbred and thoroughbred and training and being involved with them?
I think the thoroughbreds, it's less work. And I mean, the thing with the thoroughbreds though, you don't race as much as the standardbreds. So when you do race, you have to have the horse ready. There's no room for error. You got to make sure everything's good with the horse. Everything's ready to run, because the standardbreds you race every 7 days, 3-4 times a month. Thoroughbreds, one start, maybe 2 a month. You got to make sure when you're going over there, the horse the right spot, everything's good on the horse, because there's no room for error, because you don't get a lot of chances to run. So you got to take the money when you can get it.
Have you always been a horseman?
Yeah, since I was a little kid, I would go to the barn with my father Saturday mornings, get up, 8 years old, ready, run off to the barn, everything. And then when I was in high school, everyone's going out partying on Friday night. I'm off to the racetrack on Friday and Saturday. That was my partying. My parents wouldn't let me skip school, but like I said, anytime I had off, I was gone. And like I said, with the standardbreds, you do a lot of shipping. I travel, me and my dad get in the truck and trailer, go all over the place to race. Back then the purses were cheap, but you had fun. This game, if you don't love it, it's the wrong game for you. Long hours, a lot of headaches, but when when your horse wins and you get that adrenaline rush and you're in the winner's circle, that makes up for all the long days and headaches of the business.
This place.
Yeah, I find, like, I was at Woodbine in this fall there. I did okay. I just find here it's more relaxed. Like, the horses are on the farm, like, there's maybe 10 or 15 horses out on the track at a time most mornings. So, if you have a hotter horse, or for the babies, I think it's easier to get them going when you don't have so many horses going by you one way, the other. Like for here, obviously we don't race in the winter or the fall months or early spring. So like everything's opened up. Like you can see here, the horses got their heads out, they're looking outside. It's actually grass. It's not,
What's your best horse you've had over the years?
It has to be Big Time Louie. I claimed him 2 years ago for 5,000. He win the first year I had him here. He win 3 races. He made like 35,000. Last year again, he win 3 races. He ended up getting male claimer of the year here. He just, I think he's got 20 starts and 14 in the top 3 with 8 wins. He just, every week he gives his best and very rarely misses a check. He's 1, 2, 3, tough. So many times looked like he was beat, and he come back on and hung on, win by a nose, win by a head. He's just a tough little horse. He's got to be one of my favorites.
If you were to speak to a young person getting into this game for the first time, what would you tell them?
If you're not prepared to put in long hours, early hours, and a lot of time learning, and maybe not a lot of money at first, this is not a game for you. This is definitely a dedicated game. Even 365 days a year, Christmas morning, I got to get up, go to the farm, feed horses, clean stalls, whatever. The horses is your first priority of life. Everything else is second.
300 people.
Actually, I really like that because I actually just got a syndicate set up. I'll be claiming horses for them in the next 2 weeks. So it's nice because, you know, even though each person only, I figured out getting like $4,000 or $5,000, but you know what? For those 350 people, they got to say they could won the Kentucky Derby. They got to be involved on race day, up to race day, go out for the picture at the track. I mean, that's an experience. Anybody in this game, that's what you want to do, right? Win the Kentucky Derby or the Belmont or the Preakness, right? That's obviously the race of choice. So, I mean, for the syndicate, it's good. Like those 350 people are probably sold on horses for the rest of their life now, regardless. But it's a good way to get new people into the game with, you know, not investing a huge amount of money, and they can still have the thrill of going to the races. And that was the thing for me. I had some people approach me, you know, they all wanted to get some horses. So we set up a little thing. I got actually 21 people, and they all put a certain amount of money in. So we're going to start claiming a couple horses and race them. And if we do good, get more and more, and eventually see how it turns out. But, you know, everyone can come to the races, and if you get a bad horse, it doesn't hurt you as much, and hopefully everyone could just have some fun and come to the races. I got 2 horses in tomorrow. I think both horses got a good shot of winning. I'm not saying they're gonna win. The race, they're tough. It's the first start of the year. They could be, I think they're ready to run, but you never know. Sometimes they need a start or two, but there's a good card tomorrow. We got a couple maiden stake races and stuff. It's always nice, even if the weather's good, it's outside, you're close to the races, you know, you can stand on the rail and the horses run right by you, and they got the tiki bar outside. It's good for the horsemen as well as the fans to come. I mean, you're right in the action, so it's nice to get a day out.
Well, thanks for your time.
No problem. Thank you.
It's a pleasure talking to you.
You too.
Thank you.